What will happen if a nuclear war starts? Hello world! Modern nuclear weapons have become much smaller, but more accurate and more powerful than the nuclear weapons used during World War II. Therefore, in the event of a nuclear war, its devastating consequences will be felt far beyond the borders of Ukraine. We can say with confidence, the whole world will shudder. I propose in this video just to talk about such an important topic. The current president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, made an alarming statement some time ago. Anyone who tries to interfere with this military special operation in Ukraine will face unprecedented consequences. In this regard, the whole world again began to worry about the threat of a nuclear conflict. It seems that time has turned back 60 years, when the Soviet Union threatened nuclear war by placing its ballistic missiles in Cuba. All the disarmament efforts that were made in the years after the Caribbean crisis did not prevent the USSR/Russia from steadily developing and building up their nuclear technologies and potential. Now, the Russian Federation has the largest nuclear arsenal on the entire planet. The country has more than 6,000 warheads, which is almost half of all nuclear weapons in the world. If earlier the size of such a weapon was quite significant, then today, in terms of miniaturization, significant progress has been made. Modern nuclear weapons have become more compact. Typically, an atomic bomb weighs only a few hundred kilograms. But at the same time, it is potentially capable of destroying millions of people at once. And more interestingly, some of the nuclear weapons that the Russian Federation has today are more than 50 times more powerful than those dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And now let's talk about what kind of conflict scenarios are generally possible. If the Russian Federation does decide to launch a nuclear strike on Ukraine, or any other country that wishes to intervene and provide support to the Ukrainian state, it will most likely use tactical nuclear weapons rather than large strategic missiles. Otherwise, it may be interpreted by the US as a direct threat to NATO. In addition, in the event of a large-scale nuclear attack, there is a danger that NATO allies' deterrent forces will be used in response. Nevertheless, the use of tactical weapons would allow the Russian army to destroy militarily strategic locations in Ukraine, or send a clear political signal to the Ukrainian government by planting nuclear warheads directly on cruise missiles that are already being used in this war. The main question is, what damage can modern nuclear weapons cause? I will say right away that if the aggressor country Russia used its entire nuclear arsenal, then a significant part of our planet would simply cease to be habitable. At the same time, I want to note that even the use of a small part of this arsenal will have the most devastating and long-term consequences. Hundreds of thousands of people could be killed or injured by flying debris. The resulting explosion creates shockwaves that together form a kind of large, very hot fireball capable of causing third-degree burns. The population will then be exposed to radioactive fallout, which can cause malignant tumors and birth defects. Of course, scenarios for a large-scale nuclear war may be different, but we will consider the most sparing of them, when about 40% of the available nuclear weapons with a total capacity of about 5,000 megatons of TNT equivalent will be detonated in the Northern Hemisphere within a few days. In this case, approximately 1,150,000,000 people will die from nuclear explosions in the first days. The same number will be seriously wounded, of which at least 70% will die. Taking into account radioactive contamination, losses will account to 30 to 50% of the world's population. There will be a nuclear night and winter, due to the smoke and dust raised into the atmosphere, since the flow of solar energy will be blocked by 90%. As a result, all food chains will be disrupted, plants will die, then animals, hunger will come for humanity, there will be no fresh water. Climate change will lead to an increase in the number of natural disasters around the world. Storms, hurricanes, droughts, and floods. There will be fires in cities that will cause the release of toxic gases in concentrations that lead to the poisoning of all living things. Change the gas competition of the atmosphere with unpredictable consequences for the biological world. In conclusion, I will say this: with the help of modern technologies of nuclear destruction, it is possible to eliminate entire megacities and clean up vast territories, even at a great distance. Literally in a short time. There may be nothing left of our planet if one of the rulers of nuclear states nevertheless decides to press the red button. But we really hope that this never happens.